So Xbox Game Pass for July is finishing off with some excellent titles that were just revealed. We also have brand new games coming this August. Let's start this off with As Dusk Falls, an Xbox published game, and it's a full-blown interactive drama that features two families whose lives are intertwined due to a robbery gone wrong. Now, what's interesting about this game is the choices you will make that are going to have a big impact on how the narrative plays out. The story is told across decades. There's almost no chance you and other players will have the exact experience, and the cool thing about this game, it's just a 6-hour campaign, but because it plays out so different, you can do multiple playthroughs. Last thing, this game has been launching with really good reviews, and I think this is one you guys are really going to enjoy. This hits Game Pass July 19th for the cloud, console, and PC. So Ashes of Singularity Escalation is a real-time strategy game where you're in the driver's seat and you're in control of a full-blown entire army in real-time fights with real-time tactics. The game's a sci-fi futuristic war game that has you building up your forces, battling out against the aliens who are trying to wipe out the human race. The game comes in with a Metacritic score of 81. It has tons of positive user reviews and sees a Game Pass release on PC on July 19th. So one of the best games that's dropping for July for Xbox Game Pass has to be Watch Dogs 2. Here you play as Marcus, a young hacker in San Francisco, and you're going to join the most notorious hacker group called DedSec. And while you're on a mission to complete the biggest hack job in world history. Now, as you guys know, the Watch Dogs series is all about that dynamic open world, the free roam that you get to partake in, but you can pretty much hack every part of the city, including even the city's own infrastructure. But you can also develop your own playstyle all along the game. You can upgrade your hacking tools, you can get a hold of unique cars and drones, and even 3D printed weapons. There's really a lot to this game, and with over 55,000 very positive user reviews, Watch Dogs 2 is a game that if you haven't dived into yet, I really think you're in for a treat. Alright, so Moto GP 22 is making its way onto Game Pass, and this is the latest entry in the series. But this year's iteration's bringing some cool new things to the table, like the 9 Seasons 2009 mode that has you reliving the chapters and moments of legends such as Rossi, Lorenzo, and some of the best racers at the peak of their careers. But if that's not your thing, there's also a full-blown career mode that puts you in full control of your bike, so you'll be earning your way to improve the engine, the aerodynamics. You can even go as far as hiring your own team manager, the technical director, and there's just a lot more different options. This is a very in-depth career mode, but if you just simply want to just race for fun, you have 120 riders to choose from, 20 official circuits, and a new multiplayer split-screen mode that is completely new to the franchise this year. I've gotten to play previous Moto GPs in the past. I really think they're fun games, but I'm gonna have to say they're a little bit difficult, so just keep yourself prepared to get wiped out quite a few times. But I think overall you guys are really gonna enjoy this, and the cool thing is you can play this across the cloud, console, and PC. So Torment Tides of Numenera is the successor of the old school Planescape Torment, a game that released all the way back in 1999 to critical acclaim. But in Numenera, you're going to be embarking on a story-driven RPG where you're pretty much almost allowed to talk your way out of most of the fights in this game. This is truly a game where your choices matter. Whether they're right or wrong isn't even a thing here, but ultimately those choices will decide the fate of your entire group. The story is really the big thing in this game, as you play as a person who was born falling from orbit, but your mind is now occupied in a once changing god who has cheated death for a long time. And while the story only gets more strange from there as you go about with your crew. The combat in this game is a pretty deep turn-based system, but truthfully guys, it's really slow and it's not really the best. But I think if you want to dive into this one, you're going to want to mostly play it for its pretty wild story that is highly replayable, just really due to the sheer amount of choices you're going to get. Torment Tides Numenera is going to be available for both the console and the cloud. So Inside, guys, is one of the best 2D atmospheric puzzle adventure games you'll ever play in your lifetime. It's a strange but masterful story of a boy drawn into the dark, almost military-style complex, but he's at the center of a mysterious dark project. This is a game where the challenging puzzles really tell you a story, and boy, at times it can be brutal if you fail. A wrong step and you'll see a horrifying image of your death. The good thing about this game is with its save points and loading, you're really typically briefly back in the action, so it's not too punishing. With only 2 buttons of really just jumping and simply interacting, the game doesn't throw too much at you other than just enjoying the beauty of its art style and the narrative that it's painting for you. Now, this is a game that comes in with a Metacritic score of 87, multiple game reviews of perfect scores across publications, over 32,000 overwhelmingly positive user reviews from gamers across all walks of life. And the cool thing about this game too, it's not too long of an adventure with only 2 to 4 hours for the story to finish, but honestly, don't be shocked that you'll be replaying this quite a few times. Alright, with that guys, let's get a sneak preview of some August games confirmed, and a game that has me pretty hyped is Turbo Golf Racing. This immediately you can tell sees inspirations drawn from Rocket League, but I think this game's pretty different because instead of hitting a ball into a soccer/football net, here you're going to be driving your own ball into the final hole in a race against 8 other players in pretty much a golf-like scenario. There is even really the ability to knock out your opponents with things like missiles or find secret tunnels to outmaneuver them. So really there's a lot happening with Turbo Golf Racing, and honestly this could be the next big hit right alongside Rocket League. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Still too early to know if this game's going to be coming to the cloud or PC, but pretty sure it's going to be hitting consoles on August 4th. Alright, so we've talked about 2 Point Campus quite a few times on this channel, and it's the successor to 2 Point Hospital, only here you're going to be building up a campus from the ground up and watching your students engage with what you build. We'll be talking about this game more in the coming weeks, but this is set to hit Game Pass on August 9th. Alright, so our next game, Midnight Fight Express, might be honestly the surprise drop of August. Featuring a full-blown fighting isometric beat-em-up experience, you play as a former member of the criminal underworld lured back into the world by an AI drone who's telling you if you don't stop all of this, the mayhem is going to get insane with a criminal-wide takeover of the entire city. It's kind of a pretty crazy story, but the game's gameplay and combat so far for me here is what shines, featuring some crazy cool martial art animations, visceral over-the-top combos, mixing with some crazy items you can use like guns, explosive knives, and sledgehammers. The game is really cut out like something you'd see in an over-the-top movie. Midnight Fight Express also features 41 handcrafted levels, a really unique soundtrack that really keeps the energy of the game going. Personally, I'm really hyped for this one. We won't have to wait too long as it drops on August 23rd. Alright, and finally guys, we have the game Immortality. This is an interactive story that has you solving the mystery of what happened to an actress named Marissa Marcel. She's a film star who made several movies but then never saw those movies release, and then she suddenly disappeared. Immortality will be hitting Game Pass on August 30th. And with that, as you guys know, games are leaving Xbox Game Pass on July 31st. Those games are Dodgeball Academia, Katamari Damacy Reroll, Luminous Remastered, Omno, and finally Raji and Ancient Epic. And as always, Xbox gives you a 20% discount if you guys want to buy those games before they leave Game Pass. Let me know guys in the comments below which games are your favorite that are upcoming, and if you guys want to make sure you keep up to date with all the latest Xbox Game Pass news, especially the Xbox Game Pass coming for the rest of this year and in 2023, make sure you guys click that video on the screen on the left and the right.